MGMT is a music group based out of Middleton, Connecticut, formed in 2002 with the sole members Andrew Van Weingarten and Ben Goldwasser. Um, they became fairly popular from their first album that was released in 2007 called Oracular Spectacular, with hit songs such as Kids, Time to Pretend, and Electric Feel. They released their second full length album in 2010 entitled Congratulations, where they continued a fairly similar style to their first album, experimenting more with like surf rock and more other like punk elements in with their music. And then in 2013, they released their self-titled full length, and it was probably their strangest and most experimental yet. Really focusing on neo psychedelia, mixed with some of their old electronic sounds. And then, after I believe it was a 5 year hiatus at that time. I don't know if it wasn't a hiatus, but it was a big gap in between their albums there. They released their fourth full length album, which was Little Dark Age. It came out in 2018. This was just probably the most stylistic change that they've had. I mean, they had elements of this music in their other albums, but this is just kind of a straight up synth pop album. And now, fast forward to today, yesterday, I guess, they released their fifth full length album entitled Loss of Life. And this is kind of going back to I'd say a kind of a similar sound to Congratulations is where I kind of see it. And I was really anticipating this album coming out this year, and it had been just about 6 years since they'd released their last album, just over 6 years, which is crazy. So very anticipated, but I listened to it for the first time yesterday morning. I was at work. I was in the work van driving, so it wasn't the best time to really hear everything, but off of first listen, I really did not like it that much, to be honest with you. But I did give it another listen on headphones this morning, and I definitely like it more, and I kind of analyze it a bit more, and I'd like to talk about how I'm feeling about it right now on day two. I'd also like to say that it's unfortunate that this album was a bit of a disappointment to me, especially because their last album really exceeded my expectations, and honestly, like on first listen, I was really hooked on it. So it is unfortunate, but what can you do? The intro song, Loss of Life Part 2, is honestly one of my favorite tracks on the album, which is interesting. It's not very long of a song, but I like how it comes in with just like it kind of starts with this like crackling of the record, like if you were putting a record on, and it kind of goes in this like nice electronic textures, and there's kind of just this kind of like voice samples in the backgrounds of some guys like questioning a bunch of random things in life. Yeah, and that goes kind of confused me a bit when I came into the next song. In this album, they released a good handful of singles, and I kind of refused to listen to them, so I wanted to like experience the album when it first came out. So I didn't listen to any of the singles. I didn't really know what I was going into here. So the second song, Mother Nature, came on the first time. I just was not expecting to hear what I was hearing. It kind of reminds me of just like a 90s kind of soft rock song. This definitely has that classic MGMT vocal style and like electronic sounds that they've implemented especially on their earlier albums. And but yeah, it kind of like threw me for a loop. I just wasn't really expecting that, I guess. I kind of was expecting more of a sound similar to their last album, to be honest with you. But yeah, then the song after that, called Dancing in Babylon, Has this kind of like nice, like little glitchy intro, and this is actually the first MGMT song to ever feature any other artist in their music, and that being Christine and the Queens, and the same kind of trend throughout the whole rest of the album, like going back to the last song, is just kind of this like light rock, and this song is kind of like a piano ballad kind of song, love song, um, and I definitely, it kind of sounds like a late 80s, early 90s kind of feel to me. Don't know if I'm like matching it up perfectly right, thinking that off my head, but um, I did like this song off the second listen for sure. Just a nice little love song, and yeah. And that goes into the next song, called "People in the Streets." Um, there's a nice little like guitar pluck, kind of like catchy guitar plucking that starts the song off and goes throughout the rest of the song. Um, Electronic layers, kind of ambient strings going on in the background. There's a more intense drum part later down. They get more intense later on, and it seems like a song of like how I kind of imagine, I guess, somebody kind of looking out of a window, watching people doing things on the street below, and then kind of like being scared to like go outside and get involved with anything, which is kind of interesting. Then the next song is called Bubblegum Dog, and this is classic goofy MGMT song. It was probably my favorite on the album as of right now, I'd have to say. Um, it's this where what I was talking about earlier kind of reminds me of the Congratulations era of their music. This definitely sounds something that would have come out of that album. Um, um, Kind of like a late 60s, early 70s guitar kind of going with it. Just the effects that they have going on with that. And just goofy lyrics, of course. Classic MGMT. Then the next song is called Nothing to Declare, and I'd have to say this was my least favorite. Listening to this, my least favorite so far in the album. Just kind of keeping up the same kind of trend that was going on with the light rock kind of feel. I just wasn't really feeling it that much and was kind of over it at that point. It's just not my favorite style of music, I guess, and that's why it kind of has been throwing me off for the whole album in general. And then the next song is called Nothing Changes. Kind of comes in with these kind of like echoey, like anthemic, like drums, like going on, and there's like an acoustic guitar starts going, and kind of reminds me, like the tone of it reminds me of like the song like Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. And there's some like later on some more another like like guitar with effects going on with it, and pretty solid songs, not incredible but pretty good. And later in that song there's kind of like some jazzy horns get implemented in with it, and it's just like a song about things not changing in the world, people not changing, things like that. Then we have Frady's song. It's definitely another, this back half of this album definitely reminds me a lot of Congratulations. This kind of sounds like a slower song, Congratulations. And then there's another song. The next song is I Wish I Was Joking, which is another one of my favorites on the album. I just really love the chorus line. It's really catchy. Just kind of like the vocals kind of going back, like layering on top of each other a little bit. It's definitely still Congratulations era kind of sound to that as well. And then the final song, just Loss of Life, comes in with a nice like ambient sounds and textures that's fairly familiar in their other music as well, and kind of has like these like computer electronic kind of sounds going on, and yeah, it's pretty good outro, I'd say. But all around, probably my least favorite MGMT album at the moment. I have been a big fan of them for a long time. I really got into their music in 2016, actually, when I went back and listened to their stuff. I've been listening to a lot of their first album when I was younger, about around when their first album came out. And, but yeah, this album just not really doing it for me too much. I'm definitely going to keep listening to it, I'm sure. I'm hoping it'll grow on me more. It even kind of grew on me just on the second listen. I definitely liked it better than the first time I listened to it. Um, but it kind of right now sounds like a less good version of Congratulations. That's kind of how I feel it. And Congratulations is an incredible album. It's like a softer, the softer points of Congratulations kind of compiled onto this album, with a different twist, of course. But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling. It's my first impression of this album by MGMT. Have you guys listened to this album? Please let me know what you're thinking about it down below. Help me see if I'm missing something here, or try to hype me up better on it or something. But yeah, so that's kind of gonna finish this video up here. As always, I'd like you to support my friends here on the side if you can. And I will see you guys in the next video.